Governor Evers is calling on Wisconsin's congressional delegation to modify new federal hemp laws. A new law banning the sale of most hemp products in the United States will go into effect later this year in November. And officials from Evers' administration say that could jeopardize economic impact across our state. The new law sets the legal limit of THC in hemp products to 0.4 milligrams per container. That means many existing products would need to be reclassified. As of November of last year, Wisconsin had 470 federally licensed hemp producers who may need to abandon hemp cultivation if the new law is not modified.